It's not a been.
I studied up on them this afternoon.
I remember all the curse words too, but I
Yeah.
generally try to keep them on my P's and Q's, and I'm not talking about the 4-letter P's and Q's while I'm live here on YouTube.
Hopefully I used them all up and I spilled my drink in the truck.
Now, I have, as of late, dropped a light curse word in some of my shows, but usually it's like way into it, and I might drop one or two. I never drop an F-bomb, or I try not to ever drop an F-bomb. You know, live reactions, sometimes that happens when you're hit, and you're like, you know.
Right.
Well, what about Hoover Dams and HE double hockey sticks? Those are all right, or?
I have the hockey sticks is okay if you don't do it a lot.
Not planning to, but trying to.
It's the 7 words you can't say on television.
It all within the first 3 minutes.
Oh, I know those by heart.
Yeah, me too.
And if I said them, Lars will sue me.
I will mention
Plus the 3 more he added to it later.
I will mention which light curse words can be used after the timetable is done.
Okay.
Where I can say them. Okay. But hey, everybody, we're live here on YouTube. This is my weekly Patreon live stream, but once a month I actually show this public on YouTube so that those of you out there can actually watch and see what it's like being part of Patreon. We come in, we hang out once a week, talk about football, Colts, NFL, other sports, whatever comes up. Jack and I spent 2.5 hours last week just BSing about so much stuff. And it was a blast. It was just me and Jack, but we had a blast, did we not?
Yeah. I couldn't believe we talked for 2.5 hours.
Hey, Jack is here for me too.
Yeah.
In honor of Jack.
The other night, Lauren. The other night I was talking to a friend of mine. She called me at 10:30 the other night. We talked for 6 hours and 2 minutes.
You got
6 hours.
2 minutes in, or it don't count.
I have friends like that. I know.
Yeah.
I've never been on the phone for 6 hours in one conversation.
Well,
cross that off.
I called her back the next night as a joke. Asked her if she wanted to get on for 7. We ended up talking for another 2 hours, and we're not talking about the same thing. It's a new subject all the whole time.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
it's all good.
Amazing.
It's all good.
But so we were discussing a few things here before we went live, like Jelani Woods having the torn hamstring, and he'll be out at least 6 weeks.
Ouch.
Jonathan Taylor's on the pup. Chris Ballard just did his press conference for beginning of the season press conference. Waiting on that to actually drop for YouTube to watch the whole thing. But he did say in regards to Jonathan Taylor that the whole situation sucks. It sucks for him. It sucks for the Colts. It sucks for Jonathan Taylor. It sucks for the Colts. It sucks for the fans. It sucks for everything. And that they do have a relationship that needs repaired, and that he believes it can be, and that he's going to do everything in his power to do so.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that speaks volumes. And he said, he's straight up. He's like, we're going to have disagreements, when it comes, every time I talk to players, Ballard said, we're going to have disagreements, and usually it's going to be about money, and I get it.
Right.
I understand. Hey, I got somebody
Imagine
else.
that.
Here. What up, Matt?
How you doing, brother?
What's up, Matt?
How's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
Hey, Matt.
I was able to avoid the hurricane.
Awesome.
All right.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
So, reminder, Matt, we are live, public on YouTube.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, I saw your thing when you put it up that we were going live today.
Watch your P's, Q's, F's. you know.
all the
In the
Lord.
7-word list.
Yeah, hold on. I gotta. Yeah, that's right. I need to go check out George Carlin real quick and get those 7 words. You know what I'm talking
Some
about.
of them have changed,
Right?
actually, but yeah.
Yeah. He expanded it to 13, if I remember correctly, before he passed. But
Well, and some of his
Yeah,
original
yeah.
7 get used now on TV.
What about
Yeah.
Sam Kinison, huh? What about Sam Kinison?
Yeah.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
Kinnison. Oh, I love Sam Kinnison.
all right, so Donald Shelton
The
drops
late.
in here. Do you guys really believe Ballard knows what he's doing? Is there a method behind the madness, and why do players want to leave? That's an interesting question. First off,
I'll chime in whenever.
most players want to stay. Now, the reason why
Yeah, most players want to stay.
most players want to stay. The reason why sometimes players want to leave because they're at the end of their career and want to chase a ring, which, you know,
Right.
I completely understand. Stephon Gilmore is in that category, right? I'm perfectly okay with that. Jonathan Taylor did not feel like he was going to get a contract extension, you know, and get paid what he felt he was worthy of. So he wanted, you know, to go to a place
He's a
where
little
he
bit of
might be
both.
able to get more than $10.5 million next year. So
Mhm.
I get that. Now, when it comes to the roster, I think Ballard knows exactly what he's doing. When it comes to the roster cuts, that's not Ballard. That is Shane Steichen, who did the roster cuts. Now, obviously, Ballard's the one that did the cuts and informed the players that they weren't on the team anymore. But it's Shane Steichen who wrote down the list of the names and handed it to Ballard and said, this is the team I want. Right.
Right.
And Ballard did it. So, because when you have especially a first year head coach, you're going to bend over backwards to get that head coach whatever he wants and needs at that point in time, you know, because your job's on the line at that point too. But obviously when it comes, Gardaki sitting here says, Ballard doesn't seem confident. Well, when dealing with the Jonathan Taylor situation, who could be, right? Who could, when you're dealing with a disgruntled player that you're trying to smooth over, you're not going to be confident in that situation because obviously what has transpired already isn't working. So he's got to change his, you know, either he changes or it's going to continue on as it is.
It's going to fester.
Yeah. So I get it. I understand. What are your guys'? We're going to start. Hold on.
Yeah.
I'll let you go ahead and say something real quick, Martin. What do you need?
I'm hearing, I've heard a lot out here that it has to do with his agent, that he was asking for somewhere like 15 to 16 mil. This is, you know, hey, I don't have anything solid on this. Maybe you can tell me what you heard or what's real.
It's hearsay.
That, you know, he wanted like 3 years at a ridiculous amount of money. And that's why they decided, hey, go ahead and see if you can get traded. They weren't going to, they neither offered enough for his skill level, the teams did, from what I understand, nor were they going to offer him anywhere near. Now, what's his name in Las Vegas? Running back. Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, everybody goes, oh, well, he got a $12 million contract for 1 year. Well, if you read it, it said up to possibly $12 million for 1 year, which means there's incentives that he's going to have to hit, you know, before he gets $12 million. And that's only 1 year. Yeah. And he's a great running back. We all know. I mean, in fantasy football, he's been a popular running back in fantasy football. So that says something. I don't know. What have you heard about agents and that type of situation? Maybe that's what's clogging up things with Ballard. And
well, I know that Ballard's taking a lot of heat right now because it leaked out that Ballard mentioned a certain wide receiver of the Miami Dolphins, Jalen Waddle, as possible trade compensation for Jonathan Taylor. And everybody's going crazy saying there's no way. He knows there's no way. He was just asking for too much on purpose, blah, blah, blah. And well, where it comes out, Miami never even offered anything close to a second round pick for Jonathan Taylor. Okay. No one did. So what generally happens in negotiations, if anyone has been in a negotiation of any sort, even when it comes to, buy, sell, trade, right, of merchandise, one person goes with a low ball offer, the other person goes with a high ball offer.
The high ball offer, and you meet in the middle. Well, guess who never went to the middle? The Miami Dolphins. So, of course, that's what happens. But everybody's going to be like, oh, Ballard was just shooting for the moon. I mean, to be fair, Jalen Waddle is Miami's second best wide receiver.
I was going to say, it's a fair offer to me.
The Indianapolis Colts were offering their best offensive player for their second best wide receiver, right?
Right.
And I don't care that,
It probably plus a draft pick somewhere.
Yeah.
So,
but so far it's, in my opinion, the situation with Jonathan Taylor is he needs to play, right? And I've said this from the beginning. He just needs to get out there and play. He can't work out. He couldn't have worked out for any of the other teams because he's on the pup list. The Colts didn't sign a waiver. So you can't. So no team is going to offer a first round pick for a guy who can't even work out for you, period. So the Colts knew that. And that's why they were like, go out there. And
Dolphins do that. Yeah, the Dolphins are going to make the trade without a physical.
Well, there's also something else I think the Colts know.
Taylor knew that.
Yeah, Taylor knew that. Everybody knew that.
Taylor's already run for an 1,800-yard season. Only 3 other running backs has ever run for more than 1,800 yards in 2 seasons.
Well,
so that's probably not going to happen again.
No, but I mean, Edger and James averaged 1,500 yards every season for his entirety as a Colt.
Well, we'll take that.
Average.
Take that.
So
just like buying a house.
Till he hurt his knee.
James by any means. I'm just saying it's quite possible. But at the same time, Taylor's hurt. He just come off surgery. We don't know what he looks like. Ballard don't know what he looks like. Nobody knows what he looks like. Who's going to pay you when you have no idea what the hell you can bring to the field, right?
It's just like buying a house.
Let me ask you this.
You got to have an appraisal to buy a house.
Let me ask you this, guys. I watched the press conference live today, and I got the distinct impression that Chris Ballard is trying to protect JT. The way he talked, he's trying to protect him. Everybody and their brother knows, I'm sorry, but I did some looking back at this. Prior to training camp, between the OTAs and training camp, that's when JT came out and said, hey, I signed a 4-year contract. I put pen to paper. I'm going to play my contract out. I love Indianapolis. I'm going to be here. He just said that 3 months ago. Then he goes out and he gets this new agent. And when he said that he also added that, yes, I had a procedure done on my ankle, but guess what, guys? It's 100% and I'll be ready to go. So he said that at that time. Then he comes to training camp. He gets a new agent, and all of a sudden he can't pass a physical. But it sounds like to me that the only reason why he's not passing a physical is he's telling the doctors that he still has pain in his ankle. That's not passing a physical. That's basically lying, saying you have pain in my ankle, and they're not going to put him out there if he says that he has pain in the ankle to do any more damage. But I just got the distinct impression that every reporter, Ballard, everybody knows he's not hurt. This is all about money. This is all about the contract. This is his new agent getting in his head, telling him, hey, I can get you the most amount of money. I can get you paid now. You're not, don't go another year. You deserve it now. All these other running backs in that Zoom call, they put JT out there in front of everybody, hoping that he would be the poster child for running backs, and the Colts would come up off the money and set a standard for the running backs. Well, guess what? It hasn't happened. And now, like you said, Lawrence, he's hurt himself. The only way that he's going to get, for one, a new contract from the Colts or a contract from any team is he has to play, and he has to play well. If he goes out there and only gives it a half effort or whatever, the Colts aren't going to pay him. Another team is not going to pay him. So he's got to play.
Well, it's
and
not just that.
And the best position for him, if he really thinks about it, if he takes the agent out of the equation, the best team for him is the Colts. He knows. He looks around on that team. The Colts take care of their star players. They do take care of them. Go talk to Quentin. Go talk to Shaq. Go talk to Braden, Braden Smith. Go talk to any
Ryan
of them.
Kelly, all of them.
Go talk
and
to
Ballard
Kenny
said
Moore.
that too.
Yeah.
Ballard said that too. Ask the players.
Yeah, but also Ballard also said he wasn't giving any contract extensions.
No. And why do you
this
say
offseason
right,
for anybody?
Because we
Whether
lost
it was Taylor, Michael Pittman Jr., Grover Stewart. You don't think Grover Stewart, Michael Pittman Jr. deserve some kind of extra money? I mean, I'd say so. Speaking of Michael Pittman Jr., what's up, Brandon? He says, I heard the Indianapolis Colts wanted Waddle from the Dolphins for Jonathan Taylor. It kind of gets me wondering if they believe in Michael Pittman Jr. Here's something for you, Brandon. In that same thought process, Miami Dolphins went out and got Tyreek Hill and paid him $30 million. Does that mean that the Miami Dolphins didn't believe in Jalen Waddle? No, you go out and you get as many high-powered weapons as you possibly can. It has nothing to do with what's already on your team. You just got to go and get as many as possible, right? So that's how I see.
Well, I think if they would take the agent
question,
out,
get off. I've been talking so much about Jonathan Taylor the last 3 months. I am so sick of it.
Sick of it. I know.
Go to a different subject. Another question by Brandon. Appreciate you, Brandon, dropping questions, and all of you guys out here. Are you guys a little worried about edge rusher? No, I'm not.
No,
I know a lot of people might be. I'm not.
What have you heard about this new guy?
Not me.
What have you heard about this new guy they just signed off of waivers? That guy from Dallas.
I haven't had a chance to go in and look at the film yet.
I've heard that he's small, but he's got that bend and he's got speed, kind of like old number 98 for us from the Colts.
Well, the way I look at it, the Colts did not have an edge rusher that was a 10-plus sack guy last year, and they were still top 10 in sacks in the NFL. It's not just about the edge rush. It's about the entire defensive line and depth.
Yep,
now,
up the middle.
That's
and penetration. Penetration.
Yes, it's all about that. And from my film room I haven't gotten to that film room yet, but the Colts defensive line as a whole, starters and their backups, they are all built to get penetration and create problems in the backfield. They might not, every one of them might not be able to do it at an elite level, but all of them do it at a good level, which means somebody is going to get through at some point and create problems in the backfield of opposing offenses. So
they kept that rookie that you, I dare you to say his name.
Adam Marway or whatever his name is.
I was going to say, I dare you to say his name correctly because I can't.
I can't.
I saw that they kept him
correctly all year, but I haven't said it a whole lot. And
Adi.
We'll call him Adi. But they kept him, but I hadn't heard great things about him out of camp. So I don't know. Do you think they saw something, or did you know that they saw something?
No, I haven't checked. This is flat out a factual statement. The Indianapolis Colts have the best defensive tackle duo in the NFL. Between Defoe and Stewart, that is a monster defensive tackle position.
I think we believe that, but I think Grover's just underappreciated.
I don't know. I mean, if you go and look at most NFL analysts that actually, we're not talking about casual fans. We're talking about NFL analysts who actually study the league. They know what Grover Stewart brings, right?
I don't think, in all honesty, I don't think the secondary is as big of a concern as what a lot of people think. They're inexperienced, but they play well. The inexperience does not necessarily mean play bad. And I just dropped that video, and I think Gardaki, I think you watched it. I assume. I think I saw you do some comments on it. I saw maybe 3 bad plays in all 3 preseason games by the secondary. That's it. You know, 3 bad plays in 3 games by a group. Literally, you know, that there's only one guy that's had more than 177 snaps in the NFL. That's pretty darn good, right?
Yep.
Do you think we're going to stop the run? It looks like we can.
We're still a top 5 run stopping team in the league by far.
They did well against Philly. I mean, they were that Philly game was very good. They did. I mean, even though it was the last game.
All 3. If you take away,
I missed the first 2.
Yeah. If you take away quarterback scrambles, which, you know, not every defense can handle every quarterback scramble. It is what it is. The Colts defense this preseason as a whole, backups against backups, starters versus starters, gave up only 3.3 yards a carry.
Yes.
Right. I mean, they have been studly.
That's going to matter. That's going to matter.
Yeah.
And that guy Jalen Jones is going to be a great find, great 7th round pick.
And people are like freaking out. Oh, they cut Darius Rush. Why would they cut our 5th round rookie? You know, and I'm sitting there going, all right, well, let's examine this.
You know why people are saying that? Because he's the only one in the preseason that's had an pick 6. And, you know, so people remember that. That's why they say that.
But the fact of the matter is, of the 7 cornerbacks that we had, we kept 6 corners. All right. And those 6, all 6 of them did better than Darius Rush.
Oh, yeah. And he was picked up by Green Bay when he picked up Darius Rush.
Kansas
City.
Oh, Kansas City, right. The last one.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
almost cleared waivers. But I'm looking at, you know, the list of cornerbacks we kept, and they chose right. You keep 6 corners on your team, 4 outside, 2 nickels. We kept 4 outside, 2 nickels, and all 6 of them. Darius is an outside corner. All 4 of the corners that we kept were better than Darius. All right, we got both of our starters, which, you know, is Baker and Flowers.
Yep.
And then the other 2 rookies, which did better than Rush did, you know, during camp and preseason. So they did the right thing by letting Rush go and hoping that he would clear waivers. They did the right thing.
Yeah. Well, I watched JJ at A&M for the last 4 years. Well, actually about 3 years that he played. I was really happy that he got drafted by us.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. No, we have 4 wide receivers now, Charm. They let go of Isaiah McKenzie so that they could keep Jelani Woods on the roster. And then as soon as Jelani went to IR, they were able to re-sign Isaiah McKenzie back to the roster. So we have 4 whole wide receivers on our starting 53.
Made me a little I must admit, it made me a little nervous when I saw that they cut Isaiah. I'm like, well, wait a minute here. We got to have more than 3.
He did pretty well in preseason.
Well, it's like, regardless, it's like, don't we need more than 3 wide receivers to go into the season?
Well, I mean, unless you plan on running a lot of 14 personnel,
well,
you know
what I thought of, Lawrence? I thought of you when I saw that. I was like, oh my God, it's the tight end show. They're going to play all the tight ends at once, just like Lawrence predicted. That's it.
I mean, for those of you that haven't been,
including fullback,
for those of you that have not been here for our Patreon shows, all right, about a month ago, I came up with this idea, did I not? Where I was like, we've got 5 tight ends on this roster that could legitimately make the roster. We could keep 5 tight ends. Oh my God, Wouldn't it be amazing? Just one time, I want to see the Colts go out there with a 5 personnel.
We might see
0-5 personnel. No wide receivers, no running backs, just 5 tight ends, and watch the look of shock and horror on the opposing defensive coordinator's face when he's like, what the hell do I do about this?
We might see it. It's possible.
Talk about the heavy offensive line look.
I mean, would you though? Because at that point, all 5 of the wide receivers are route runners and can catch. They are 5 mismatches. You could run out of that package or you could pass out of that package, right? Defenses would know what to do.
Somebody posted a picture today. It was basically the Colts starting offensive line. And it was like, here's our 5 new wide receivers. I was like, that's pretty close. That's that would be true.
Hey, I got a suit hanging up right over there in the corner. I could pull that off. I look like a GM in the NFL. Oh, okay, Lamar's MVP season, he had 2 really good tight ends. Well, I'll tell you what, the Colts have at least 4 good tight ends. Good ones.
Didn't Drew used to play wide receiver?
I can't remember. I don't remember asking him that when I interviewed him.
Ogletree? Yeah, I think you're right, but he grew so big.
I thought
he put him at the tight end.
High school,
he played wide receiver.
I think he did in high school, but I think in college he moved over.
By the way, how big is Drew Ogletree really? I've heard 6'5", 6'7", 6'5", 6'7". How big is Drew Ogletree?
I thought he was listed as 6'5". I thought he was 6'8".
He's 6'5". He looks at me eye in the eye, and I'm 6'6".
Okay, all right. Because I've heard he's 6'7" every time. I've heard it back and forth. I think they get confused with Jelani, but he's still big.
Yeah.
So Jelani's the tallest one at 6'7"?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, Mo's up there too, and Mo's like 6'6".
Mo's 6'6", I think, 6'5" or 6'6". The tallest guy on the team right now is on the practice squad, and that skipper, the outside offensive tackle, who's 6'11".
I think it's 9.
And people's like, you should put him at guard. He's a monster. I was like, you don't want a 6'11" guard.
They run underneath him.
Oh my gosh!
I heard he was 6'9". 6'9".
Close his eyes and just lob it up in the air because he ain't seeing nothing in front of him. He
can climb up on his back and throw it down to the end zone.
Like, you put a 6'11" guard in front of Anthony Richardson. That's the same basic look that Kyler Murray has on an every given day Sunday. I mean, he's just looking at the back shoulders of his offensive linemen.
Throw it between the helmets.
Right. Oh my goodness. But yeah, this is going to be interesting. But I'll tell you what, having that many good tight ends is perfect for an RPO. Perfect. Because defenses won't know what you're doing. You can run out there with 2 or 3 tight ends and still pass the football.
And one of them could be a fullback.
Yeah.
You could have 3 tight ends, a fullback, and a running back or something. So that rookie tackle that we took, whose name escapes me, that's tall and supposed to be really good. How well did he do in camp? What's his name?
He did okay. He started off a little bit rough, which is expected, right? But turned out, I mean, he's going to take some time, but I think he's going to turn out to be a good backup.
He's got skills.
Yeah, he needs to put a little weight on the way Ryman needed to put a little weight on.
Are you talking about Freeland?
Yes.
Is that it? Jake Freeland?
Yeah. Thank you. Yes. I'm bad with names. Horrible with names.
Yeah. Yeah, he needs to put a little bit of extra weight on. He's a tall boy, but he needs to add a little bit of weight. He can be pushed by some good power rushes, but as we saw during training camp, Ryman and Fries came back both with an extra 15 pounds of muscle, both of them, and they look way better this year than what they did last year, both of them. But yeah. Oh, my headache still is not rolling yet.
What about these running backs? What do you guys think about Hall? Which I saw his, you know, what was he with? Northwestern, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Hall looked good on that preseason game. Hall looked good on that preseason game.
But he was the passing back there, and I didn't, if I missed it, they didn't do many passing plays with him. They just ran him up the middle to see what he could do. I thought he looked pretty good.
They threw to him a couple times.
They threw to him. Yeah, they threw to him a couple times.
They got a few passes to him, but at the same time, you don't want to do a lot of checkdowns in preseason.
No.
You know what I mean? You're looking to get the ball somewhat vertical.
Well, that's his skill. So if you saw what he did at Northwestern, what do you think he will be able to do with us?
Kind of similar to Nyheim Hines, but not as fast. That's basically how I see Hall. Kind of like Nyheim Hines, but not as fast.
Is Zach Thomas or is Zach? Well, wait a minute. The lead running back.
Zach Moss.
Zach Moss. Is he going to be back for the games or with his broken arm?
It's still out. I don't think he makes week 1. He's still dealing with that broken arm. Deion Jackson and Hall are our only 2 running backs as of right now.
Do you think we bring in a running back?
Or bring Funk up from the practice squad?
It's possible that Jake Funk could be brought up from the practice squad. I would not be surprised if we sign a running back short term. You know, it's possible. But I
who?
could see going into a game with only 2 running backs.
I just hope they don't try to bring in Kareem Hunt because I don't think he's what he's cracked up to be.
Who?
Kareem Hunt.
Oh, no. Kareem Hunt, no. Hell, he wants as much as what freaking what's his name got? Oh, damn it, Cook.
Dalvin Cook.
Yeah,
Dalvin Cook.
He wants $8 million a year. I ain't paying him $8 million a year. And then on top of that, you know, there's history there. I'm assuming this is supposed to be Hall. Chaz says yes. Okay, Hall. Yeah. All right. Blocked well in the preseason. Well, I would hope so. He got a pancake off that blitz that he picked up. Evan Hall got a pancake from picking a blitz up.
I saw it.
Oh my god! And if it wasn't for the drop by Josh Downs, that would have been a beautiful play. Because I mean, it was blocked well. It was a monster blitz. That was the blitz package. Both inside linebackers went straight up the gut. Monster blitz. And it was 6-on-6. One of the linebackers was picked up by Hall. One of the linebackers was picked up by the tight end or the tackle. And it looked gorgeous. I mean, it was like this perfect pocket where Anthony Richardson was able to step up and no one came within like 2 feet of him. I was like 2 or 3 feet of him. And I was like, wow, that's gorgeous. And then he throws this ball money. Perfect. Right between 2 defenders.
And he drops it.
And Josh Downs goes right between his hands.
Did you
I've seen Josh Downs have all training camp and preseason. And he does it in the 3rd game against the Eagles.
Yes.
Did you hear Ogletree's I'm sorry. Did you hear Ogletree's press availability? They asked him about how hard Anthony Richard throws the ball. And he said, yeah, I went out on the off season anticipating that and turned the juggling machine up to 60 and 70 miles an hour. So I'd have a chance to catch the ball when he threw it to me. And he meant it. He was totally serious. He didn't laugh.
Oh, I know. I 100%. Yeah.
He said the man could throw the ball.
Roger Clemens to throw me baseballs so I could catch them with my bare hands, from 5 feet away.
Exactly.
Well, anyhow. Oh, yeah. Gardaki was saying it's not just been Downs that was dropping balls. No, it was drops from a lot of people. You got to remember, the Indianapolis Colts wide receivers are used to guys like Matt Ryan and stuff like that, throwing them.
They got to turn around and come back to the ball.
Fluff the fluff ball.
Yeah,
it's more like a shot put.
I was gonna say, I'm trying to think. Did Pierce even have a catch during the preseason?
I'm sorry.
Did Pierce even have one catch during the preseason?
I know Pierce was worrying me.
I don't know.
He dropped everything.
He had some pass interferences.
Yeah, but
him.
Everybody said he couldn't get open.
He had 2 drops.
He said he was having trouble getting open.
He had 2 drops. No, he was not having. Pierce was getting open left and right, but he did have 2 drops during the preseason. One against the Bills, which everyone saw the drop. It was damn obvious. And he had 1 drop against the Eagles. Right. The Eagles game, the Colts had 3 drops. 1 by Pierce, 1 by Downs, 1 by Deion Jackson.
Well, if you count those into his percentage, it goes way up. Because that's not necessarily his fault. Something I saw just today, Dan Orlovsky was talking about mechanics. And it was a really interesting discussion about, because this is what what's his name with the Bills, then somebody else learned about twisting their hip when they're throwing the ball. So for accuracy, if your hip is straight, when you throw the ball, the point of the ball coming out isn't necessarily where it should be going. But if you twist your hip, which sounds a lot like, to me, when I play baseball, that sounds a lot like what you learned about being a pitcher, which there's definitely a lot in common there. And he said they're working on that with Richardson. He's noticed that sometimes he slides with the hip and sometimes he gets that twist. And the accuracy will come as he learns the mechanics of the little bit of a twist with the hip when he throws the ball.
Well, what that was
his other accuracy issue, and I'll tell you this right now that I've noticed on tape, is half the time he has his feet pointed in the right direction, the other half he doesn't. Okay. That's a big deal. That's a huge, you can't, if your feet are pointed in the right direction, then your body will naturally line up at the point of release of the football. Right. And your accuracy will be much, much better. So that there's a lot of problems there. Well,
what they said, they were talking, I was watching, Pat McAfee had Josh Allen on today from the Bills, and Josh Allen was talking about Anthony Richardson, and he watched him in that preseason game, and he goes, the dude is a specimen. He goes, he was dropping dimes on us left and right in that game, and he said that boy can spin it. And he said he went over to him after the game and talked to him and told Anthony, said, if you need anything, or you have any questions, you give me a call. I'll help you out. And I thought that was pretty cool. But he said something about that Anthony had done the same thing. Anthony had something called map. They mapped something or doing with mechanics they did with Josh Allen. And he said that would really help him because that's what helped Josh Allen.
That's what Orlovsky was talking about. Josh Allen. Yep.
Josh Allen was horrible coming out of college as far as accuracy. And they did this process with him and showed him what he was doing, and it really helped him. So
Michael Pittman Jr. has had problems with separation so far this offseason during preseason games. At least that's what the film has shown. Alec Pierce was getting separation, no problem. His problem was he was dropping a lot of balls or getting held. You know, he would get he would break. He got so good this past offseason on his first break and his takeoff off the line to where he would get separation and then corners would just grab him and pull him back, right? So it looked like you weren't getting separation, but the corners were actually holding on to him. And that's why he's had 3 PIs called against the corners for Alec Pierce this offseason or this preseason because he is getting separation. The problem is he's dropping balls and he's getting PIs. Hopefully his hands get better and he starts catching the damn things when he doesn't get held. All right. But by all means, keep getting the PIs. I mean, that's free yardage, right?
Right.
Well, you got Reggie Wayne as his coach. You know he's working with him on it.
Yeah. Joey B's in here already talking about Rush, and good for the Chiefs. I'm glad they have Darius Rush, but he was the worst cornerback on the Indianapolis Colts roster, and the Colts were right for letting him go. Hope he made it past the waivers, but at that point, they were supposed to let him go because the other 6 corners that they held, they needed to hold them over Rush. So they did right in releasing him off the 53. Pittman's got great freaking hands when it comes to, catching in traffic, but he has problems with separation. I'm surprised as much as Alec Pierce has worked with Reggie Wayne and getting, in his cuts and his release and using his hand usage and stuff like that. Why isn't Pittman doing the same thing? I mean, if he is, it's failing. You know what I mean? I got a little $2 super chat here. Carnage in here. I'm worried about this team this year, Lawrence. Well, you should be if you're expecting, the Colts to have a bunch of wins. I don't expect the Colts to make the playoffs this year.
I thought you guys wanted that wide receiver in next year's draft.
Marvin Harrison Jr. He's going to be a Colt.
Colts fans have been talking about Marvin Harrison Jr. the last 3 years. All right.
I know.
I'm just saying.
No, they've been talking about Marvin Harrison Jr. since he was a 6-year-old on the sidelines with his daddy. It's when he's going to be a Colt.
He's coming in next year's draft. So what are you all complaining about?
What if he does the same thing as Eli Manning and says, I'm only going to play with the Colts, so figure something out? That could happen. That could happen. If Anthony Richardson's looking good, why wouldn't he want to be definitely with the Colts?
Well, in honesty, though, I mean, I see us having a path to get Marvin Harrison. I don't see him. We could be the 3rd or 4th pick again next year, and we could easily get him because the 2 quarterbacks are going to go 1 and 2.
I'll tell you what. I'm not.
I think our defense
about next year's draft until the season's over with.
Oh, I'm not either.
Know what kind of season we're going to have? I'm expecting a 6-win season. That's what I'm expecting.
Minimum.
Yeah,
minimum
9 wins, even at this point, because I feel like our defense is better than people expect it to be. Right, I really do. I think Anthony Richardson will be able to do some stuff. We still don't know what's going to happen with Jonathan Taylor over the next 4 weeks. And
it's going to be fun to watch.
And yet we have yet to see a Shane Steichen offense with this team. So we don't know what it's going to look like. We're going to find out week 1.
Nope.
Right?
It's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
I think if we get to 10 wins, it'll be at least one defensive win.
Miracle.
Maybe 2 defensive wins that'll carry us to
if we
10.
get 10 wins, it's like half of them are defensive. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, wow. I don't know about that.
Yeah, give a couple of special teams, too.
If we get 10 wins, it's because of that tight end personnel that Lawrence wants to put out there. That's what
we'll be the first team to have 3 tight ends with over 750 yards.
Possibly.
Hell, if we got 3 tight ends with over 500 yards receiving in the same season, I don't think another team's ever done that.
No.
What do you think of that tight end Mallory, our rookie Mallory?
Will Mallory?
Mm-hmm.
He's got a lot of potential. He's got a lot of potential. You know who he reminds me of? And no, not Dallas Clark. So those of you who want to drop
I didn't say that.
There, just erase it. He's got
We're all
so
thinking
much to get before he even is in that same level. But no, a tight end that we drafted in 2012 with Andrew Luck. All right.
Yeah, his cohort. Yeah.
Oh, what's his name? Kobe Fleener.
Kobe Fleener. He reminds me a lot of Kobe Fleener. Okay. Only bigger. So
is that good or bad? Kobe Fleener was up and down.
Yes,
good.
But
Yeah,
I mean,
good.
in the receiving game, I think Fleener was a good receiver. He wasn't very good at blocking, though. He was ass as a blocker. Right. But Will Mallory in the receiving game, the way Andrew Luck made him look, I think he looks very similar to that. So got another $5 super chat just dropped in here. Carnage. I'm not expecting much. I'm just underwhelmed with Ballard and his roster building. As long as AR progresses, I'm happy, but I'm still worried, though. I get that. I understand. But you got to remember the cuts that were made. That wasn't Ballard. That's Steichen, right? Steichen tells Ballard what he wants. Ballard goes out and gets them. And then when it's time to make cuts, Steichen cuts the players that he wants off the team and keeps the guys he wants, and then hands that list over to Ballard. And Ballard then does the dirty work of, Axeman. So, that way everybody can still be liking Steichen. Even right. But Kobe Fleener, what I'm saying with Kobe Fleener, and when I say reminds me of Kobe Fleener, is that style, like his smoothness and route running, the way he was able to catch and run with the football. But he's not Fleener wasn't a blocker. He was ass at blocking. Allen was our blocker. Fleener was our receiver. Right. But yeah, I think that I think the Colts will do fine. In my episode, my Believe in Colts episode that I just dropped, I think I was dead on it when I said I think this year's Indianapolis Colts offense is going to be very interesting and innovative. Will it win a lot of games? Right. I don't know. That's up in the air. I'm kind of like on the but I think we're gonna see stuff with this offense that isn't normally seen in the NFL, right? Because of where our talent lies on the roster. So that's going to be interesting to watch. But
yep.
Do you think they plan on using like Mallory or Granson for wide receiver work if we keep the wide receiver count low?
Yeah, probably.
Would they actually maybe be put in as wide receivers?
Granson is, look, I'll tell you what. Granson's a hell of a receiving tight end. Like, damn good. Did you see that dirt catch that he almost had 2 dirt catches in the
Eagle. He did. He looked good.
Right? And then he got that one that was thrown, and he had the sky for that sucker and was able to catch it. Everybody was talking about how great of a throw that throw from Anthony Richardson was, and it was a good throw because it was over the defender.
Right.
But
He put it
Granson had
where
a
only
better
Granson
catch, and that
could.
was a throw.
Right.
You know, I mean, Granson looks good right now, and he's a good blocker. I'm still. I'll put it on right now. Anthony Richardson has. I will go on record and say that because of the connection that Anthony Richardson has with Granson's going to have 750 yards receiving this year. Easy.
How many touchdowns?
I don't
5,
know.
6?
I don't know. I can't do that.
Well,
I
he
just
can
know
run.
He targeted a lot.
Yeah.
He
can run pretty well. So,
and
Of
I think
all the tight
Ogletree
ends-
will be targeted a lot early on until Jelani gets back. And I
Of
think
all the
that's
tight
going to be a
ends-
hell of a combination between Ogletree and Granson.
Kylan kind of reminds me of that Dallas Clark type tight end.
mhm.
Same build, same size. I mean, good pass catcher, you know, but it took him a while. I remember, my goodness, when he first came in the league, his rookie year, he dropped everything, but he did. It was like, whew, this kid, but he's worked hard. Now it's paying off for him.
Appreciate you, Carnage. Donald Shelton says the playbook will be wide open, more Richardson set running plays. That's something we haven't seen yet a lot of, right? Steichen hasn't really opened his playbook, you know, preseason. You don't want to show your hand before, you know, the season.
No.
You're going to see a bunch of stuff that we did not see in preseason. You're going to see design running back runs. You're going to see a lot of RPOs. You know, you're going to see a lot more stuff like that. And it's going to be interesting. And that's why I say it's going to be a very interesting and innovative season for the Indianapolis Colts. I really believe that. I just want to. Now, a lot of you in here have already pointed out that we have a Patriots fan in here. He is
Who could that be?
Patreon subscriber. So he has every right to be in here, and he will represent his team. All right, on over, yeah, it's well over. And he's a patron to a Colts channel because we don't just talk Colts. Okay, we talk NFL, we talk everything, and that's what we do. And you know, if you want to join Patreon, dude, the link is in the description of the video, and it's way over there in the chat that I pinned in the chat, right? $5 a month. You get to do, we do this every Wednesday. Every Wednesday we do this. Only one time a month is it live, right? And I'm going to be dropping film rooms. I just dropped one yesterday, right? About the Colts run defense for Patreon members. Only Patreon members get to watch that. So just let you know.
Hey, Matt, I got a question for you. Serious question.
Yes.
Where do you think the Patriots are going to end up finishing in the AFC East? I mean, they used to. I mean, they dominated that division for so long.
Oh yeah. No doubt. Now, Bill O'Brien is a big reason why I think we're going to do really good this year. Do I think that we can go out and win the AFC? Hell no. But we do have a better wide receivers. We have very good wide receivers this year. Our run game is going to be phenomenal this year. Our defense is going to be one of the best in the league. All around. Our only Achilles heel is going to be the offensive line, especially at the tackle position.
That's weird to hear about.
It is. One of the big reasons is because Scarnecchia is gone. I mean, you would not see that if Scarnecchia was there. But every man has his day when he needs to retire. I listen to him when he's on. He is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to offensive line. He's like Bill Belichick when it comes to offensive line. He's a wealth of knowledge. but they got a new offensive line coach who knows offensive line. He played offense for the Patriots. Then he was an offensive line coach for Pittsburgh. Then he went and did offensive line work with Oregon, and now he's with the Patriots. So he knows a little Scarnecchia, and he knows a little this and things. So we'll see how it's working. It's gotten a little better. I hope they stick Awinu, which is our guard, over to right tackle, and then stick some of the new guys and stuff like that inside. Stick the guard over to right tackle, and then stick some of the new guys up in the guard position, because we are having a little, even in preseason, we're having a little bit of the injury problem with the offensive line. And, it's just that, will everything kind of come together before, game one with a team that went to the Super Bowl? We have the Eagles game one, so it's going to be even our first 4 games is probably one of the hardest four games of all in the NFL. So it's not going to be an easy road by far. I'm going to tell you that right now. So am I going to say we're going to get second or third? I'll tell you this: we've never come in last. Okay.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you this: I'm going to put us around 10 wins.
Okay.
Well, that seems to be about where the Patriots average anyhow, somewhere between 8 and 10 the last few years anyhow.
And we've never missed.
How great would it have been if the Pats had hired Chris Strausser? Look, I'm glad where Chris Strausser went. He went to the Texans.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
We play them twice a damn year. All right.
Sure.
So I'm just saying. All right. Basil says, just admit it. You're for sale, even to the evil empire. I am going to go on record right now and say that if Bill Belichick or Kraft calls me up tonight and says, hey, we'll give you 6 digits to cover the New England Patriots.
Oh, you do it.
You better
do it in a heartbeat.
Your ass. I'll be covering the Patriots.
I would love it. No,
I still love my Colts. I still do Colts on the side, but I mean, come on, man.
I think Buffalo is going to win that division, but I'd love to see New England take the Jets out.
It's the toughest division in football. It's the toughest division in football this year, by far.
Take the Jets out. For God's sake, just take the Jets out.
Oh, you and me both.
I'm tired of hearing about Aaron Rodgers and how great he is.
You and me both.
And it's like, take him out. Take him out.
Yeah. If you saw last time when Favre came and played, Favre did not make it to the playoffs his first year when he played with them.
Right.
Yeah. So it's not a guarantee that they're going to make it.
The thing about here's the deal. All right. There's a lot of question marks about quarterbacks outside of Josh Allen, right? In that division.
Right.
I mean, it's
absolutely.
What kind of Mac Jones are you going to get this year? Right.
Yes.
Is a Tua going to be able to go this year without having 4 concussions? Right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I always said.
What kind of Aaron Rodgers are we going to get in the Big Apple? Right.
Yes.
There's a lot of questions there, and that has a lot.
And he doesn't like
how teams work.
Aaron Rodgers doesn't like heat press on him. You know that, right? Yeah. Imagine the Big Apple press. He's going to get that if he doesn't perform.
Yep.
Green Bay's easy to play in with all. There's not much press. Big Apple press is Big Apple.
Oh yeah. They'll tear him apart if he doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
If he doesn't play
Absolutely.
well, they'll tear him apart.
Oh. Guys, I don't know how long we're going to be rolling with this one. So just let you know up front, because like I said, I do have a headache and it's still there.
Yeah, I understand.
But this has been pretty good so far. If you haven't smashed that like button, please do so. And remember where we're at here. Oh, you know what I haven't checked? Make sure no one's donated. Should probably bring that up. I never think about that. If you want to help donate to the channel, especially help me get my film rooms and stuff out, feel free to do so. You can use super chats. All right, no one's done it. Benjamin Quintanilla became a Patreon member 4 days ago, which was awesome. Thanks, dude. It's a cigarette, dude. It's a cigarette, Chaz. I'm actually allergic to that other stuff, so you know. My doll. What the hell you trying to say, Basil? The hell you trying to say? My doll. Come on. No, I understand. Not just for, all that, but come on, dude. I got freaking not Advil, but Excedrin sitting here.
Excedrin migraine?
Yeah, I got a pretty damn good headache.
That shit
been
will
dealing
work.
with it all day because I've been pumping content out like video after video after video today. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you what, doing film rooms are not easy. All right, you sit here and go through. Yeah.
You go through all that,
all this film,
the 22.
You put it together, and then you record over it, and you got to put it back together. It's a pain in the butt. It takes forever, but the end result is good. I always, when I finish a film room and finally get it posted, I feel good about that kind of content that I put out. So
correct.
Lots of water. Water matters for headaches.
Yeah. I have tea, like fresh brewed tea that I just made. It's something. It's got some caffeine in it, and caffeine does help with headaches too.
Yes, caffeine definitely helps.
I think I'm getting headaches not only because of all the work that I've been doing, but I've cut back on soda like heavily. I used to drink a lot of Mountain Dew, and I don't drink nearly. I drink maybe one fountain soda every maybe 4 days, and I just started that in the last month, and I think that has a lot to do with it as well, with my
okay.
Looks like you might have another member joining here.
What I heard, Carney, that'd be awesome, dude. That'd be awesome. So who's going to win MVP this year?
Anthony Richardson. If
the Colts make the playoffs, that's almost a guarantee. If the Colts make the playoffs this year, Anthony Richardson better be an MVP candidate.
MVP or Rookie of the Year, one of the two.
Rookie of the Year, yeah.
All pro.
Who's going to be MVP of the NFL this year?
That's a good question. Good question.
Probably Mahomes.
I'm going to say Josh Allen.
Is he hurt? I heard something or saw something.
You think Josh? I just don't think Josh is ever going to get it, man. I'm just on that train that Josh is never going to get that MVP.
I'm just going to say, I look at it like if he's going to do it, if they're going to do it, their window is closing. So if they're going to do it, they could do it this year.
Quarterback Cincinnati.
Joe
Burrows.
Man.
There's a little something brown right here on your nose there, Carney.
I'm gonna go with Joe Burrow this year. I'm gonna go Joe Burrow this year.
I think something's up with his injury though. They're playing that off really, really funny.
Yeah, but you can still get it even if you miss a few weeks of the season.
No, he could. I'm just saying. I think there's. I don't know. I don't know if he's 100% or not. I don't know what's going on.
Right.
With him.
What's his name? Jones in Seattle. Who's the quarterback in Seattle?
That's my early pick. That's my early pick. I want a mid-season pick.
Or what's his name in San Francisco?
I don't think Brock Purdy's gonna. I don't think Brock's gonna have.
I don't know.
Season.
Brock Purdy's. He's. You got to remember he was Mr. Insignificant. I just think he needs. This is his second year, and we all know the quarterbacks have a sophomore slump. I just don't think MVP on a second-year quarterback, especially one. I mean, even Tom Brady had a bad second year.
Nah.
I'm not kidding. He didn't make the playoffs.
No, I
He
know.
didn't make the playoffs.
I know. You're right.
I think San Francisco is going to be in trouble anyway if they don't
Andrew
get Bosa.
didn't.
If they don't sign Bosa back, they're going to be in trouble.
You
And I was right about Trey Lance, by the way.
Could be this year.
Oh, Trey Lance. Yeah, there's an interesting situation.
Who, Lawrence?
I might get chewed up here, but I think a sleeper, a guy that played for the first time in 2 years last year and was rusty.
Deshaun? No.
I think Deshaun Watson is a sleeper.
Yeah, I go the dark horse. Yeah, I like that dark horse pick. Yeah, that could be a dark horse pick. If he comes out and plays like the Texans, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Well, you know what? I think because of I don't think he'll get it, and it has nothing to do with his football ability and what he does.
The AFC Central,
the curse of the Browns.
Central looks good. The AFC Central is going to be really tough. Also, don't just look at the AFC East.
You mean?
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
we haven't
correct.
seen AFC Central in 20
What?
20 years. Yeah. I'm sorry.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What's all the hype over over Detroit this year? I hear a lot of hype about Detroit Lions.
I haven't heard as much hype about Detroit this year as I did last year. I think last year they came out of the woodwork and actually became a decent team. And I don't think that they're going to be as, shocking if they make the playoffs.
We're going to see Thursday night.
Yeah.
I think they could challenge Minnesota for that division.
Oh, absolutely. I think so too.
If they give KC a run for their money on Thursday night, we will see.
Yep.
Wilson, Basil says Wilson could be your comeback player of the year. If he finishes the season as the starting quarterback for the Denver Broncos, I think he gets comeback player of the year. Because if he plays as bad as he did last year, I don't think he'll make it to week 8.
He should retire.
That if Wilson plays as bad this year as he did last year, Sean Payton will freaking bench his ass. He's not afraid to do it.
Mm-hmm. He should retire if he plays that bad again. Excuse me.
Fundamental says I think the Jags run away with the division. I mean, that's your better chance right there. That's like saying, well, Kansas City is going to win the West. That's kind of, that's your better chance right there. Who do you think has the second best chance to win the division? Of this, the AFC East
of your division, South.
Mm-hmm.
Colts.
Man, it's close. It's close between the Colts and the Titans.
Yeah, the Titans. I think we have. Yeah, I don't know the way their quarterback was playing. Man, I don't know. In that one preseason game, he looked terrible. The Titans, man, I'm telling you, man. I mean, their backup looked better.
No one's going to pick the Texans.
No, they got a brand new quarterback, man. And he didn't look that great when he was playing. I mean, he had
a brand new quarterback.
I know, but he looked better. He looks a lot better.
The Texans had so many holes, so many.
Yeah, there was just a lot. There was a lot.
They have a lot.
The offensive line, the defense, they've got a lot. They need a couple of drafts. I mean,
I know they do.
Yeah, they do. They got a lot of work. But they got a lot of work.
I got to put something in perspective that Fundamental Bear is correct here. Okay. The Titans allowed 8 sacks to the worst defensive line in football in preseason against the Bears.
Yep.
Okay. Week 1 or week 2.
Yes.
Week 1. Yeah. And the Colts go out and they gave up 1 sack. And that was.
That's my point. That's my point right there. That's my point. That's why that's why I don't think that's why he looks so bad.
Yeah.
What do you guys think the Bears are going to do?
Too much defense and not enough offense.
I was going to say Tennessee's got a real good defense. They've got a good defensive front.
They got and you can't. The problem with the Titans, it's Mike Vrabel.
Right.
Yeah, I know. Don't tell me. I know Mike.
He's a top 5 coach in the league.
Absolutely.
And
I agree.
I know that about that. Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you can't bet against Bill Belichick too much because it's Bill Belichick.
He'll bite you in the ass if you don't watch out.
Yeah. And I feel the same way about Mike Vrabel. As much as I dislike the Titans, I respect the hell out of Mike Vrabel.
Right.
I do too.
Yep, me too. I do too.
Wasn't he coach of the year last year?
I don't even remember who the coach of the year last year.
I don't either. That's why I'm asking.
What do you guys think?
Coach,
what do you guys think Justin Fields and the Bears are going to do? There's a lot of hype in fantasy football about Justin Fields making a lot of points this year.
No.
Coach of the year was Peterson from the Jags last year.
Okay. Thank you.
That makes sense.
That does make sense.
I mean, they took him from crappy ass dead last team in the division.
They took him from a coach. They took him from a coach that was in a strip club.
Yep.
Yeah.
He won Coach of the Year.
And had a real shot at taking the
team in a crappy ass division.
They barely lost that second playoff game too.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
With the Kansas City, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they damn near beat the Chiefs in the playoffs. So
playoffs, yeah.
As far as your question, Martin, I think Justin in fantasy, I think Justin Fields is going to do wonderful. Again, though, the Bears are kind of like the Texans. They had so many problems, so many holes on that roster. It's going to take them a few years before they do anything.
2 years. They only fix the defense. They never fix the offense.
No, they don't. You're right, but it's going to it's going to take some time. Just like Houston, give Houston and that new coach a couple years, they'll be a threat again in the AFC South.
It's possible.
It's like they're trying to get that 85 Bears defense again. And until they get it, it never happened. No team will ever get that.
No.
It only lasted 1 year, so for the Super Bowl purposes.
Yes, I know that. I watched it.
I know. So did I.
I watched every game they played. It was so good.
And I rooted for Miami when they beat them to make it 15-1.
Yeah. I didn't have a team then. That's why I watched them.
We just got the Colts in '84, so if Chicago, Cleveland, Cincinnati, those are all the teams we watched before the Colts got here.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah, and the Colts played the '85 Bears tough that year too. They only lost by a touchdown.
Dolphins beat them in the season.
Oh yeah, they had Dan Marino. What do you expect? I mean, it wasn't like it's a bunch of scrubs like the Colts were.
What do you think Anderson Jr. will get Defensive Rookie of the Year? That's an interesting question. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think Anderson Jr. will get Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Jalen Carter might. Because Anderson Jr., he's going to get so many double teams on with Houston, it's not even going to be funny. Who you going to double team on that Philly D line? Yeah.
Who do you double team on that Philly D line? You can't. There's not a single player that you can double team because everybody else is that good too. I think Jalen Carter gets Defensive Rookie of the Year. I see him getting probably 12 sacks this year. The way that dude looked in preseason. Oh, and that one preseason game he played, and they took him out after like 2 drives because it was like, no, dude, you don't. No, we don't want this on tape. We got murders out here, and they can use that against us. We can't have that on film.
Dang.
Oh.
What do you guys think Shaq Leonard's going to do this year? Is Shaq Leonard really back?
Yeah, he's back.
I think he's back.
I knew he was back. I knew he was fine. It was concussion protocol, and people, you go through that. Everybody goes through a concussion protocol once in a while. And Shaq, when I watched him in training camp, that dude was at least 90% of what I saw from him in his rookie year when it comes to like speed and quickness and decisiveness and things of that nature. Whereas last year when he came back, I was like, he's maybe 70%, during the games that I watched on film. But now he looks much, much more like his old self. And you're going to see that. And that's going to be a huge difference for our defense. Huge difference for our defense. Especially when it comes to turnovers.
Good. Boy, did we cover everybody? Oh, EJ Speed. There's been a lot of talk about how EJ Speed is really, really, really upped his game.
EJ Speed, I'll tell you who I think should actually replace EJ Speed. But he's the backup for Shaquille Leonard. Grant Stewart.
Ooh.
That dude's a baller.
Ooh. I didn't pay attention to that.
You talk about somebody who flies around to the ball. Yeah.
Right.
All you see is the hair flying everywhere.
I just, Carnage,
I liked him. I liked him in preseason.
There. But good comeback, my guy. Good comeback. Don't ever take what I say too seriously. I'm joking a lot. Okay. So he got me back. Good job, Carnage. Fundamental says, has anyone even ever heard of someone recovering from multiple back surgeries? I don't hear many people ever having multiple back surgery. He had a back surgery and then a cleanup surgery is what he had.
Oh, shit.
So that's what he had. Because the first major surgery was actually on his ankle, right? And then come to find out it wasn't his ankle, it was his back. And then they did the back, and then he had a little bit of infection, so they had to go in and do a cleanup.
Oh, the infection, yeah.
Yeah. So that's basically what happened. All right. So I'm not too worried about that.
Well, Peyton had 4 neck surgeries, so went out and finally got his other Super Bowl.
I mean, Joe Montana.
Last year.
Joe Montana, right? Near the end of his career, he had that shoulder replacement, 2 shoulder surgeries on his throwing shoulder. And then went to Kansas City and had damn couple good seasons there with KC. Joey B wants to trade everybody on the team. Everybody. He wants to trade Jonathan Taylor. He wants to trade Shaq. He wants to trade DeForest Buckner. He wants to trade Shane Steichen. He wants to trade.
Why didn't he just trade himself?
Howard. He wants to trade everybody.
Well, you want 30 draft picks next year?
Talk
about starting from scratch.
We found somebody that
he never said Buck. Never said Buckner. Keep Buckner, but nobody else.
Defoe's safe. Defoe is safe from the wrath of Joey B.
Joey B's like, let me be the GM, and we'll have 52 trades on the team. We'll keep up. We'll have 16 first-round picks, and we'll win the Super Bowl by 2024.
Holy cow!
I'm playing, bro. I'm playing. Don't get too rough on me. All right. I'm poking jabs. All right.
It's funny though.
Like Carnage right here. Got to poke some jabs once in a while. I think Shaq will ball out this year. All right, buddy.
That's crazy.
I personally told not Chris Ballard, because I have not ever had face-to-face one-on-one time with Chris Ballard, but I have told a high up in the front office of the Indianapolis Colts that if they ever trade DeForest Buckner, I'm going to be so pissed.
You're gonna be so pissed.
Yeah. I told, look, you won't even give me a freaking interview with him. Man, you trade him, I'm gonna be madder than hell. I mean, come on. But every morning I wake up to this beautiful face. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to be worried if they do give you a chance to interview him.
Oh, well. The good thing about that is I've had enough time talking to stars, and not just NFL stars, but just stars in general, that I won't go too fanboy. Like, if I can talk to my favorite author of all time, sit down and have a conversation with him for like 2.5, 3 hours and not go fanboy on him, then I could do that with anyone, you know? And that happened. And honestly, that happened early in my recording career. So that was something really cool.
I wasn't really thinking about you going fanboy. I was thinking more like, what's the message? Oh, we're going to let Lawrence give him an interview, and then next week they trade him. That's what I'm thinking. I wasn't thinking about you going fanboy. I never thought of that one. I was thinking like they haven't given you an interview up to now. All of a sudden they give you an interview, and after you do the interview, they trade you.
Like,
I'd be worried. Now I'd really be worried. If they grant you an interview, be very worried.
I don't think I am important enough for them to have give me my bucket list. All right.
Okay.
I mean, I might think highly of myself and things of that nature, but I don't think and they do show me respect, and I appreciate that. I think that's more of a two-way street than it is anything, though. I know I'm not. I'll give you a quote from the great Jim Irsay. If I die tomorrow, the Indianapolis Colts will just move on.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, doesn't he have it set up for all his daughters to take over?
Yes.
When he decides to retire?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Two of them. 2 daughters.
2 of them.
Yes.
I hope they do well. Hope they learned enough from him.
Right.
Someday we'll have to deal with that.
Oh, my bad. I didn't notice your concussion injury question. I did talk earlier about everybody gets concussion occasionally. All right. It happens. We have lots of players. I mean, players all over the league gets concussions, especially if you're a fast person. All right. Do I think Shaquille Leonard will never get a concussion again? I am not saying that. You know, it's going to happen most likely at the speed that he plays, you know, but I can't think about what may happen in the future, right? You have to think about what a person could. It's just like you go back and you look at the safety the Colts had during their Super Bowl run, right?
Bob Sanders?
Yes, you look at Bob Sanders, right? You knew he was bound to get injured at some point, but you couldn't think about when he was going to get injured because you knew he was going to go out there and play his ass off, play his heart out, put 110% on the field. At some point, you're going to get injured. But while you're on the field, you are a super badass, right? And that's how I feel about Shaquille Leonard, right?
I absolutely agree.
Fully healthy, he is a super badass.
Leonard has the same effect on the whole defense as Bob Sanders did when he was playing.
Yeah.
It was a big difference.
The thing, when Shaq got it concussed this last time, though, it was against the Bears. Did he come out of the game, or was it? I mean, he didn't. It wasn't like they took him out of the game because of a hit. He noticed it afterwards, right?
Yeah, I think it was
after the game.
Yeah, because I don't think
he started showing symptoms after the game.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't remember him taking him out of the game or anything like that.
Yeah. Oh, I see how ESPN has been laying off people. I think Lawrence could put in an application to join. All right.
So ESPN
Good
has
one.
already hired a couple Colts guys that
80 million, Lawrence.
podcasters. Plus they grabbed Stephen Holder, who I have a ton of respect for. He's a little political, but he's at least he gives his true thoughts, good or bad, which I'm okay with. He's not an asshole like some political guys from Indianapolis Colts. But he is a bit political and shoot straight. I got respect every time I go to camp and Stephen Holder's there. Me and Holder we kind of sit down and talk about stuff. So he's pretty good.
Didn't they just hire Shannon too? Didn't they just hire Shannon Sharp too for co-host?
Yes.
Oh my God, there's a mouth.
I like Shannon Sharp.
No, I do like him. I do like him.
And
he's a mouth though. I mean, he talks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he could shut up Skip Bayless though.
No, that's fine with me.
I think that he was signed on with Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah, Stephen A. Smith. He's on with Stephen A. Smith, and I think someone else. I think they're going to be like three people or something like that. Yeah, but it's still going to be good.
Could be interesting. Yeah.
Have a good one, Gardaki. But yeah, if someone wants to pay me,
but Shannon's still going to do his own show.
I need to get my teeth fixed before that happens. I got bad teeth, so that's why I try to always be down like this. And I plan on getting my teeth fixed this year at some point. My wife's getting hers fixed first. So, but that's an ugly thing that I've had on why I used to start off and I used to have this in front of my face all the time, I
noticed you moved away from your microphone. I was like, none of us can see your teeth and we don't really care. You'll get it. It'll be all good when you get them. So I'm sure your smile will be brighter when that happens.
Brandon says, I'm not going to lie. I'd love to see a debate between Lawrence and Skip Bayless.
I would pay for that. I would. That could be on pay-per-view.
I would do it just for the publicity. All right. And if you want me, I don't know. Okay. So I don't know how I would approach a Skip Bayless debate because 90% of the time I'm a level-headed debater. Right. But if you push me over that edge, and I have
that's
to turn
that's what the show is,
or a stick of dynamite.
That's the show. Yeah, that's the show, though.
I know.
That's why they went and got. That's why they went and got Sherman.
Yeah. Yeah. I can explode. I can be very animated and vocal. Occasionally,
just watch the live game reaction.
Try to stay as I am now. Just that guy who tries to stay level-headed and things of that nature. So,
we've seen you in the live game reaction shows.
Yep.
We know how you are.
I've posted videos, like uploads of me being animated because news dropped. And I was like, oh, I'm doing it right now while I have this feeling right here, and right here, and I put the feeling out there and it got like 10,000 views or some shit, That's
what they want. There you go. Yep.
That's kind of why I miss, and I'll be honest, look, I miss the hell out of Loyalist. All right. I absolutely miss the hell out. I hope that what he's going through, he's able to push through and everything works out well for him and he's able to come back if he wants to come back.
Missed him too.
I
miss
the hell out of him. I can't get into what's going on with him. Let's just say he's dealing with stuff right now, family wise and also financially. But I missed the hell out of him because he did bring a little bit more animation than I do. And, he didn't always agree with everything that I said. He wasn't afraid to say, well, I kind of disagree, only in his own words. He wouldn't be that kind about it most of the time. But yeah, I really miss him. And if he ever watches this, I hope things are going well for you, and keep hitting me up. Keep me updated on what's going on.
Yep. So do I. I miss you, bud.
Yep. We miss you.
Yep. Miss you, Lawless. Absolutely.
But right now I'm trying to hold down the fort all by my damn self, pumping out videos and stuff, and just doing what I can do, And then of course you guys in here hanging out with me. I got Tom and Matt and Martin and a model jet.
We had Jack's head there for a while.
It's got a horseshoe on the tail. Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right.
It's in the Super Bowl markings that the Indiana Air National Guard did.
Oh,
there's the skull cap. There we go.
I'm sorry. I'm over here trying to read something about Ukraine.
Yeah, I understand. Basil says you're doing good, bud. Don't hide the all 22 videos from me. There's all 22 videos that are going to be only Patreon only. I got to give my Patreon subscribers specific content that only they can watch, because that's what Patreon is about, right? $5 a month. So I'm going to drop at least 2 all 22s a month for these guys. All right.
All right.
If you want to
I'll be looking forward to that.
If you want to watch them, just join Patreon. And like I said, it's only $5 a month. Plus,
it's well worth it.
Every week you can come on here just like these 4 guys and hang out and talk with us live. So, yay.
Or not live, yeah.
Yeah, don't be afraid. I think a lot of people are afraid to come on.
Or we just come in and talk.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just like we're all sitting around together.
We don't bite hard.
Yeah.
Hey, we don't bite hard.
Colts.
If we can share some drinks, we do that,
So Joey says that the Seahawks are going to go 13-4 and get the first seed in the NFC.
No.
Oh, please.
No.
Spare me.
They're going to be good, but I don't think they're going to get above the San Francisco.
Try to move the 1 over to 3-14, and we might be closer.
I think
Martin got a lot of confidence.
I think the Eagles win the NFC again this year. I think the Giants come in second in the NFC East.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Hey, whenever people at work ask me about the Colts, because I'm in Columbus, Ohio, I say, I always tell them, we're going to the Super Bowl, baby. We're going to the Super Bowl. You got to believe.
That'll be the first time since 2007 that an NFC East team repeats.
Well, it's all good, Basil. I understand. I can't afford my electric bill, so
yeah. No feeling.
I think the Cowboys finish last in the division.
I hope so.
Very possible.
I don't know about the Commanders. Lawrence, I don't know about the Commanders, man.
They could have the number 1 draft pick for the rest of the history, for all I care.
I think that offensive coordinator that the Washington Commanders, I hate it. Feels still after 3 years feels weird saying Commanders. But
I know, but they should have kept Hinkie, dude. I don't know why they got rid of him.
That offensive coordinator they picked up from Kansas City has changed that offense.
Bellamy,
I know he's like crazy about how hard he was, and then they go out and there's a guy in the chat that he knows what I'm talking about. They beat the Ravens preseason win streak, right? And I mean, beat it. So they look pretty good. But again, it's just preseason. But they play.
Right.
They're playing with a different intensity than what they used to.
That's a necessity. It's intensity.
There's some stuff going on with their head coach because I think Ron Rivera has lost his mind. He's admitted he doesn't know anything that's going on. Didn't know about their quarterback that was playing. It was weird. Have you heard that?
They got new ownership too. They got new ownership too, don't they?
Yeah,
that's part of what's driving it. It's part of what driving the team. Yeah.
We'll see what happens with Sam Hell.
Sam Hell.
Yeah, right.
Sam Hell is going on with the Commanders.
Sam Hell.
Is it time for those words now?
You can say shit.
I heard the fans want to rename the team.
Damn. You could say ass.
Let's keep going, and when we get bleeped out, we'll know we said something we shouldn't have.
Yeah.
But just don't drop the C word. Don't drop the F word. Don't drop either C word. All right. Male or female.
Crap.
Right. Well, that's a mutual male and female C word. Right.
True.
No Karens allowed.
Yeah, there's a few really raunchy words that you should not use, that will get me demonetized.
No, we don't want to do that.
But easy curse words, there's some easy curse words you can say after 3 minutes, right? That's good. And as long as they're very, very, very intermittent, then when I post under the monetization listings where it asks, is there any copyright content? No. Is there any of this? No. When it says, is there any cursing or foul language? I can still say no if it's very light curse words and incredibly intermittent. So I think I heard 4, and that was from me after over an hour and a half. So we're good.
So with Richardson, something that's been on my mind for a while. So the first 5-6 games, probably up and down. Who knows if we're going to win or not win? Can he take us to a win? But after what game do you think Richardson's going to start leveling out to where he's going to be effective? 3.5 quarters of the game at least, and always seem to give us a chance to win. There's a point there that he's going to be better. What game do you think he's really going to start showing that consistency?
I think we win week 1.
Well, I do too.
I think we beat Jackson.
Hey, we're going to the Super Bowl, baby. I'm telling you.
No, I think we
just win, baby.
We win week 1 because Jacksonville doesn't have enough film on a Shane Steichen offense or Anthony Richardson or anything of that nature. And I think it's going to be so new and confusing to the Jacksonville
quarterback too
that I think we end up winning that game.
But he's going to get better throughout the year.
Yeah.
At what point, what games do you think he's going to flip a little bit more to a consistency where he comes out and almost always has a drive?
Are you saying, hold on, because I'll tell you what, I would say that Richardson right now, you could kind of look at and go, look, he might have 1 or 2 bad passes every new set of downs. He could have a bad pass every new set of downs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying now, right now.
First down and continue the drive, right? Because of his legs. Like his bad passing could end up getting you 3rd and 12, right? And then his legs will pick up that first down on 3rd and 12.
Right.
But if his passing improves,
What you're asking is when can we consistently expect to see Richardson at 60% completion percentage?
Well, I don't know about 60, but up to maybe 57, 58, creeping up closer.
Because
where he's
60's where
all
I
right,
want
60
to see him at least.
I don't think you're going to see him up in 60. I don't think you're going to see him at 60% at all this year. I really don't.
I don't think
you don't think he's going to get better throughout the season, though?
He might get better.
But I think at least until
remember he has a 43% completion percentage in preseason.
Here's the thing with Anthony. I think
week 19.
It's going to take at least
19. Thanks.
Between week 6 and week 9.
First week of next year.
Before he gets really comfortable, because these teams are going to throw everything in the kitchen sink at him.
Oh yeah,
starting off because he's a rookie. That's what's going to happen.
Right.
And until he starts seeing these defenses that he's faced before and seeing things and get comfortable with it, and he might not get comfortable with it until next year. But like Lawrence said, he has got something that we haven't had forever.
I know.
And he's got the legs. He can his bad passing. If he has a bad pass, like Lawrence said, he can make it up the next play and get you positive yards. He is always a threat for positive yards with his legs.
Here's a really good stat that you are not going to find anywhere but here. I watched the all 22 and counted it up. Anthony Richardson was hit behind the line of scrimmage 15 times in those 3 games. Did not get sacked once.
No.
15 hits, no sacks.
He didn't go down.
Tell you what kind of person he is like that. That's impressive.
That's really
incredibly impressive.
The scary thing, if you watch him through preseason and the clips and training camp and everything, it's like what he brings to this team, though. He brings that long ball. He can throw in. His deep balls are beautiful. And it's like he drops them in the bucket. Boom. It's that little 10 to 15 yard area where he needs work on. But his long passes, they're beautiful. They're beautiful. We didn't have that last year. Hell, we had a quarterback that couldn't even throw it 50 yards.
That's kind of what I was talking about was the 10 to 15 yarders. And sooner or later, he's going to get better at that. But will he get better about halfway through the season? And if he does, how often, how much more could that be turning the games more towards us?
I'll say week 6
as a win.
9. Week 6 through 9. That's where you'll see.
I like it.
That
comfortableness.
You'll see a little shift. You'll see where it's almost like you remember like when Peyton used to play in the first half, you'd watch him and it was like he might be down, but then the third quarter, it was like a switch went off where he figured out the defense. He knew what was happening, and it was like lights out. That's what you're going to see, I think, with Anthony is you'll start seeing him where he
learn.
I recognize that. I get that. I know what you're going to do, and he'll be all right.
That's what a lot of people are saying about him too, is that he does see and learn quickly.
He's a smart kid. He's a very smart
he is.
kid.
Oh God, yes. And humble.
I didn't realize he had a 4.0 in GPA in college. I didn't realize that. He's a very smart kid.
I want to discuss something. A lot of people want to say, and Basil fundamental was about this as well. The drops had a lot to do with his incompletion percentage. Correct. I'm like, he had 3. Okay. And you can say that about any quarterback in the league. Mahomes, you can be like, well, Mahomes would have had an additional 5% completion percentage if those 2 drops didn't happen in that game. Every quarterback in every game is going to have some receiver drop a ball or 2. It is what it is. Yeah. The problem is Anthony Richardson still has a problem throwing too high and too low, right? He still throws dirt passes and he still overthrows guys, right? And that's a problem. That is a problem that he needs to work on. And he's very, as Martin, said earlier, very inconsistent in his accuracy. And will we see improvement between week 1 and week 17? I sure as God hope so.
I was asking where.
right? But is he going to end up being a 60% completion percentage guy by week 17? I doubt it.
No.
Right? I doubt it.
I've got two words for you.
All I want to see is somebody, because that throw that was down and behind Michael Pittman, and then the guy came up and they bumped knees and he got up wobbly and shaky and that ball, it had he thrown that ball in front of Michael Pittman instead of down and behind him, Michael Pittman sure as hell could have scored a touchdown. He had one guy to beat, and that was a safety. And that safety was 15 yards down the field, right? All he had to do was either run him over or juke him. I don't know if he'd been able to juke him, but, he sure as heck could have run him over. He would have definitely got an additional 10 yards on that reception had Richardson just been able to throw it in front of him, Now, the dirt ball to Granson, that Granson almost scooped up, but just quite wasn't able to. That was a problem. Had that ball been up a foot higher, Granson would have been able to not only catch that, but would have moved one way or the other and probably ditched the linebacker that was on him, and he would have been gone. There's a lot of situations and I can't really get mad about what Joey B said earlier in this stream.
What, trade him?
No, he said, I still think we should be starting Minshew. He said, I still think we should be starting Minshew, but it is what it is. Minshew is a good quarterback, and he looked damn good in preseason. No one can disavow that. He had the highest completion percentage of any other quarterback in the NFL during preseason. He had a 93% completion percentage for preseason. That is stupid. That is stupid.
How far did he throw it?
Well, he
2 yards.
Minshew,
there was some check downs, but he also
Minshew dink and dunked it down the field because that's what Minshew is.
Right,
that's what Minshew is.
25.
Tom Brady did that also too.
Between 5 yards and 25 yards is pretty much where Minshew is. That's his.
That's what he is.
Right.
Exactly. That's
what it moves the chains.
It moves the chains. Right.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. I still start Anthony Richardson, even though his completion percentage is lower, because one, and I'll tell you what, Minshew, he can avoid sacks too. He did quite a bit of it during preseason. We saw it, right? But
well, except the first game, but yeah.
Well, you mean that first drive?
Yeah, first drive. I know.
Drive where he was sacked twice. That wasn't his fault. You can't stop an oncoming train coming right in your face.
No, that was our backup.
That was ugly.
It was.
The thing AR brings is his pocket presence is stupid off the charts for a rookie. It'll only get better. And his ability to extend plays and his cannon for an arm is three things. And again, like we said, he's still raw. The more he plays, the better he'll get.
You think the kids
give him time. And that's why I would rather go ahead, bite the bullet. He's good enough to be a starter. That was the thing that remember what I said earlier after he was drafted? I said, look, what's going to make me make my decision on whether we should start AR or start Minshew is whether or not Anthony Richardson can read a defense pre-snap and whether or not, how he gets through his progressions.
Yep.
And he did both of those things very well through the 2 preseason games that he played. The man should start.
I'm with you. I think what it is that we're all saying here is we're looking for the chunk plays. We're looking for 15 at a time.
Yep.
We're looking, hey, we're 3rd and 20. No problem. He'll throw it 25. Just a rope down the middle.
Well, here's the thing, too.
And I think that'll happen too. I think we'll have some of that.
But I think what's going to happen, he gives us that threat where the defense has to honor that because
that opens up the running game.
He can throw
He
it
can
70
also
yards.
fake out a defense. He can also fake out a defense like no other quarterback I've seen.
Right.
Well, I mean, they have to respect two things about Anthony Richardson.
He can
One,
run.
they have to
he
respect
can
his
throw.
deep ball. And two, they got to respect his damn legs.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So that's two things, you know, that a defense always has to have on the back of their mind. When
he's deceptively quick when he runs. He's just so tall. Doesn't look like he's running that fast, but then you really see the other players going after him. And, oh, no, he's moving. He's a train on the move.
You think about it. You see Anthony Richardson break open and get in the secondary. You think a little cornerback is going to stop him? He's going to run right over him.
He's not going to risk his life on that.
I've seen him juke 5 or 6 Georgia Bulldogs this last college season. So those are pro level. Those are pro level
players.
That's a pro level defense. Yeah, those guys are in the NFL.
He's got things that you cannot coach. He's got that God-given talent that you can't teach, you can't coach. He's got it, and that's something like I was on the AR train from the very beginning. I wanted us to draft him so bad because it's like we've never had a quarterback like that. Never.
There's so many people, especially during the camp, that said when they saw him on the field, it was completely different than anybody else on the field. He was completely different than the other quarterbacks. There was just a thing about him while he was out there.
Shaquille Leonard playing quarterback. I mean, it's, he's bigger.
He says up to 252 also. So, wow. He said, "Yeah, it's just all muscle."
He added 14 pounds of muscle in the offseason.
He's 6'4", 255. 6'4", 255 that runs.
He's a monster.
Yeah. Stop that.
Guys, it's been almost 2 hours.
Let's see him do a flip over somebody, and just keep going.
He did a backflip himself during.
I saw it many times. Yeah. He can backflip. He can forward flip. He can do all kinds of acrobatics. It'd be interesting to see him just flip right over somebody and keep running.
Guys, I think I'm going to end this for me. And the live stream for those of you watching on YouTube. If you haven't hit the like button, please smash that like button and hit subscribe. If you want to be part of Patreon and join the Patreon club, the link is in the description and it's pinned in the chat. But shout out to Martin, Tom, and I'm going to have to say Jack because I can actually see his face this time.
Carnage actually joined Patreon.
Excuse me.
This was a damn good conversation, guys. Had a lot of fun. The guys that are sitting in here beside me after I end this, they're allowed to stay and hang out and talk some more, even though it's not going to be live. Remember, it could be you. All you got to do is pay $5 a month, though.
Did you see where Carnage joined?
He said he was going to.
Well, it just said there, he joined Patreon. I saw, where was it?
Whoa, I
officially
see.
A Patreon member. Yep.
Send him to stream.
I see. Carrie, I'm not going to say the last name. Carrie, you're awesome. You're awesome for subscribing. Grant, you're awesome for being a Patreon member. Not going to say the last name. Just what's up? Appreciate each and every one of you. And
welcome to the club.
Tomorrow, Thursday, I'll drop a video about something. I just don't know what yet. But we'll talk about something. It might be another film room. Hell, who the hell knows?
Oh, there'll be at least 1 or 2 more players coming in and going out. So be something to talk about.
Half our roster might be different by then.
We might trade them. They might have traded them off of draft picks. Who knows?
Still there. That's all that matters. As long as we still have the fourth bucket.
Well, if Joey B has his way, our whole roster will be different. So stay tuned next week.
Right.
All right.
Holy cow.
And that's the end of